All right, I have been asked by Shannon to get, I guess, 2 head counts. First, how many of you are going to the job fair? And second, how many of you who are going to the job fair need a ride? So how many of you are planning on going to the job fair? Please raise your hand. All right, so I take it, okay, you got your hand up. You're not going, Dominic? Okay, so 7 of you are going. How many of you need a ride? You don't know yet. Well, if you don't know yet, I'm going to put you down as though you need one. All right, I'd rather have them have an extra space. So you 3 need a ride. Yeah, the rest of you are getting down there your own way.
If there's a ride there, I'll go, but I can drive. It's like, I don't mind driving down there, but...
No, I mean, it's either way, it's totally up to you. Make sure that if you do drive yourself, make sure you have your Rankin sticker on, or, you know, I don't, you guys have a sticker, or what do you, okay, because we got a thing we clip on. Okay, so then you should be fine. But they're a little more diligent about checking stuff down there than they are here. All right. So I'm going to tell her 7 people are coming, and I'm just going to give her 4 as far as who needs a ride.
How much time did we leave?
8:15, she said they were going to leave.
And last year was business casual dress.
Well, I asked her that. She said it is totally up to you. Either you come like you are. Now, she recommends that you don't have, like, even if a Rankin, you don't have a sweatshirt on. But if guys do want to dress up and wear a sport coat and a tie, or a tie and a sport shirt, or women want to wear a dress, she said it's every way. But it sounds like the majority of the people who are going to be there from St. Louis, since they have classes, so they're just going to be like this. So, you know, but she said it's up to you.
So if we do dress up, are we gonna have to go home and are we okay to be in that attire for class?
Yeah, I don't care. And it's Friday afternoon, so I'm probably going to be the only one here. Ryan and me are going to be the only ones here anyway. All right. So like I said, I'm going to tell her 7 of you are going and 4 need rides. The other thing I wanted to show you, if you look here, I get this D zone. I get a lot of different stuff, but most popular programming languages of 2017. And this is from Indeed.com, and this is from IEEE Spectrum. You notice there's a lot of similarities. The order isn't the same, but the good news is, from Indeed's, you're going to learn Java. You know JavaScript. We're in .NET now. All right. You know HTML, and C# isn't listed on there. But if you know C#, you should be able to go to C or C++ relatively easy. And on the other one, again, we've got Java, not C, not Python, not C++, but got JavaScript, got C#, got HTML. All right. So hopefully that's looked at as being good news. I don't know. That brings us to page 552, and one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to go back and they're going to rewrite the thing that we just looked at, but rather than using a details view, they're going to do it using a form view. So let me bring that up and run that. And it does look a little bit different, okay, with the form view. With the form view, you've got a little bit more control over how things are going to look. So let's go into that. So again, I'm on page 552, and it's the last approximately 10 pages of the chapter. All right. So it says, besides the details view, ASP.NET provides a form view. Like the details view, the form view is designed to display data from a single record at a time. However, as you'll see, it uses a different approach to displaying its data. Now, with the one that we just looked at, all right, with a details view, it displays the data in what looks more like a table format. This does not. All right, as you can see here, and as you can see in the book as well. It says, although the form view is similar, it differs in several key ways. Most importantly, it isn't restricted by the HTML table layout. Rather, it uses templates to render all the fields as a single row by default. This gives you complete control. So if you want to be able to customize the way that it looks, it's easier to customize a form view than it is a details view. All right. When you create a form view and bind it to the data source, the Web Forms Designer automatically creates the default templates for you. All right. And the author says, for most applications, you'll end up using the item, the edit item, and the insert item templates. All right, so they show you the different templates that are here. And the item should make sense because, you know, that's just for the current record. So when you use it as it says, and you bind it to the data source, the Web Forms Designer automatically generates basic templates for you, and they show you as an example right here. So again, the good news is it's going to end up writing a lot of the code for you, all right? How to work with the edit item and insert item templates. Again, the ones you're going to be using probably at least the most often. All right. It says one drawback to using a form view control is that once you edit the item template so that the data is arranged the way you want, you'll usually want to provide a similar code layout to the edit item. All right. And all they're saying is once you do this, okay, you may have to make a copy of it. Now, is that a big thing? Probably not. But the last thing that's in the chapter here on the last 2, 4, 6 pages of the chapter is they come in and they give you this shopping cart application. So we're going to bring that one up. Now, it's shown in the book on page 559, and I wanted to show you that too. Where was that? This is what's coming up here, and what's in the book on page 559 is what they've done using a form view control. And the interesting thing is it's pretty much the same program that we did back in Chapter 9, all right? But back in Chapter 9, we did it using a master page, all right? And they're going back and they're redoing it now using a form view. So it says here, to show the versatility of the form view control, the following topics present a version of the order page that was originally presented in Chapter 9. That version used simple label and image controls to display the information for the product selected by the user. Because data binding didn't work for these controls, C# code was required. Now in this one, all right, It takes advantage of the data binding ability of the form view control. So in other words, you're not going to have the same code that we had to write earlier. All right, and as you see here, as we change it, everything changes accordingly, not just the image. Did you notice when we looked at that first example before, the one with the master detail, the image views were all blank? All right, it was because it was the image file. We could have actually had a file in there that we would have put in there separately, but there really wasn't a reason for doing that. I'm not even sure why they ended up listing the image file in there, but they did. All right, so again, this is the shopping cart app originally presented in Chapter 9, this time implemented with a form view control. It also uses some of the Bootstrap classes that we talked about in Chapter 10. The item template includes labels that are bound to the columns in the data source. It also includes an image control whose image URL is bound to the image file on the data source. So this one, it makes sense to actually have the image file in there as opposed to the one that we just looked at. The alignment is done using Bootstrap classes. All right. So as we take a look, and I'm jumping up to page 560 in here. Let's just jump over to the code. Okay. So the ASPX file is shown on pages 561, 562. All right. And it says here, the first one contains the 4 label controls that present the long name, short name, etc. The key thing, though, is what we didn't have back in Chapter 9, because we hadn't talked about databases yet, is the fact that these are linked up to the data source. All right? So they're grabbing that information from the database. Back in Chapter 9, when they did this, you had to write code in order to be able to do it. All right? Now it's basically just making sure your settings are correct. And they also mention, says there's 2 interesting things to notice about the format strings. First, the format string used to bind the image control says image-products0. All right, and it says since the image file contains just the name of the image file for the product, not the path, all right, this formatting expression prefaces the file name with the path name so that it can be located. All right. So it's using a placeholder. That 0 that's in there is just a placeholder that's going to be filled in based off of whatever corresponding image you're selecting from the database. Second, it says the format string displays the unit price as 0:C. All right. As a result, the price is displayed in currency format followed by the word 0 each. So where is that? That wasn't good. That's not what I want. Right there. Did they have to do that? No, but I believe the author just did it to show you. Notice you got the word each in there. All right. Just to show you that it's possible to go in and do even more customization. That's all. All right. And then finally for the chapter here, they mention that the code behind file is shown on page 563. It's similar to the stuff we've looked at before, but it says there's 2 differences. All right. It says first, only code in the page load handler, or the only code that's in there is the code that sets the breadcrumb for the first time the page is loaded, and that's right here. Second, the get selected product, it's simpler than the original version. Why? Because again, we have less code to write, because since we're using the form view, it's grabbing that information for us naturally. So, you know, again, it ends up being less code, which is always a good thing. All right. Stop this.